Yes, hello again and welcome back to your favourite classic dirt bike TV channel. And today we're going to continue with the racing footage from the Westmoreland Motor Club's fantastic Golden Jubilee Classic Scramble. This of course was held at the Westmoreland County Showground in June of 2021. Now we've already seen the racing highlights from the Saturday's race programme, so we're obviously going to continue now with the racing from Sunday's race event. This of course will be part 4 in the series of videos from this 2-day event, so we're going to continue now with race 1 on the Sunday, and this of course is the CCM Pre-1974 and the Pre-1978 bikes as they leave the line. Good start there by Lewis Bell, number 9 from Scotland. Looks like Tony Barnes has made quite a good start there in second position, number 56, and just close behind is number 17. I think that's Stephen Shuttleworth as they all make their way into turn 3. And as you can see, the weather on the Sunday's race programme was absolutely superb, with no rain forecast, thankfully. But we're taking a look at our race leader, who's already got quite a good distance between himself and second placed rider. That's number 9, Lewis Bell. On his particular CCM, I don't think this is an original bike. I think this is another one of those reproduction CCMs, but nonetheless a CCM all the same. So on lap 1 it's number 9 Lewis Bell, second is this man here, number 56, that's Tony Barnes, number 17 is Stephen Shuttleworth. I think in 4th position is number 7, and that's Tony Barrow. Well, this has been a very good start by Lewis Bell as he drives away into the distance. Second place is still Tony Barnes. I think maybe Tony Barrow has now moved up into 3rd position. And just coming towards us there is number 657, that's Nigel Packham, and number 299 is Paul Dixon. So it's still number 9 Lewis Bell, your race leader. Lewis of course was riding a different machine in the Saturday's race programme and did very well during the course of the day, but as you can see he's off to a flying start here on the Sunday, riding this Alan Clues derived CCM machine. Now Lewis of course is one of Scotland's top classic racers. Now second place man is that man there, number 56, Tony Barnes, and we're taking a look at number 7, that's Tony Barrow. Now Tony of course is riding his late father Norman's CCM bike. Now this is not a replica of this machine, this is a full factory bike that Norman Barrow rode way back in the 1970s and had many successes on this bike, and it's great to see that his son Tony is keeping his father's memory alive by still racing his old CCM. But it is good to see these old CCM bikes still taking to the track, thanks to, of course, to the great Alan Clues, who took the old BSA B50 motor and retuned it to be used in a motocross chassis. And we're looking at number 657, I think that's Nigel Packham, number 122, just making his way through, that's Fergus Moody. And it looks like it's still Lewis Bell, your race leader. Lewis has still got quite a substantial lead over second place man, number 56, Tony Barnes. But this has been a good start to the Sunday's racing for Lewis as he crosses the line to begin another lap. As we take a look at the battle for second position between this man here, number 56, Tony Barnes, and number 7, Tony Barrow. And so as our race leader comes towards the finish line to begin his last and final lap. This has been a good start to the day for Lewis Bell. Looks like Tony Barnes and Tony Barrow are still slugging it out there for that second and third place positions, but it's still advantage to Tony Barnes there, number 56, but Tony Barrow looks like he's maybe going to make a challenge on this last and final lap. So as they cross the line with one more lap to go, it's still Lewis Bell, your race leader, from 56 Tony Barnes, who is being chased by Tony Barrow. Now, another interesting fact about this bike is that this is a machine that Norman Barrow famously broke in half at the headstock when he was riding it at the 1976 British 500 Grand Prix at Doddington Park. But as you can see, the factory repair is still holding good. But this has been a good ride by number 9, Lewis Bell. Of course, he more or less got the whole shot off the line, and since then has kept the gap to second and third place riders Tony Barnes and Tony Barrow pretty consistent throughout this race. So this has been a good ride by Lewis as he coasts towards the finish line. So as Lewis Bell crosses the finish line to take the win, it looks like it's going to be number 56, Tony Barnes, who's going to take that second place position. And of course, right behind Tony Barnes is going to be the third place finisher, Tony Barrow. Okay, that brings us to our second race of the Sunday's race programme. This is the Twin Shock 125A and B class. The little two-stroke screamers, as I call them. But another good lineup of riders for this 125 class race, and as they leave the line, it looks like it's number 29, I think, who's got the whole shot. That's of course Mark Beeston. Looks like we've got a faller there. So as they head towards us, it looks like it's Chris Winder who is taking the lead on his little 125 Honda. Second, I think, is Lee Holland, number 427. But quite a gaggle of riders for this 125 class. So on lap one, it's Chris Winder, your race leader. Second is still Lee Holland. Third place looks like it's Andrew Hinchcliffe in third place. Number 21 just going through there is Ian Knight. And just coming towards us in the background there is Nick Payton on that lovely 125 Michael. So as our race leader crosses the line to complete lap one, it's Chris Winder on the little 125 Honda. Remember, Chris yesterday on the Saturday was riding his 250 Elsinore and basically won everything that was put in front of him, but he's again started very well here on the Sunday riding this nice little 125. Lee Holland is still in second position. Andrew Hinchcliffe there, number 224, also riding a 125 Elsinore. Ian Knight just making his way through. Number 16 there is Aaron Dent. Number 95 is Sean McCree, just going through. And that number 104 there, that's that quite nice looking KTM of Kevin Thornton's. So it's another good start by Chris Winder on the 125 Honda. A very talented rider. He had some good racing yesterday and was even competing against Cecil Pearson's big 600 Jap machines on his 250 Honda and gave them a good run for their money, but a very quick rider, Chris Winder. So we take a look at number 427. That's Lee Holland on the 125 Yamaha machine. Ian Knight just making his way through. Number 51 is Martin Stokes. And just coming into shot is number 35, that's Stuart Spalding. As we take a look at number 468, that's Nick Payton, riding that quite unique little 125 Michael with that rotary disc valve induction system on it, so with the carburettor that sits at the side of the engine rather than at the back, but it's got a very unique sound to it, this bike, when it flies past, and you can hear the whistling sound of the rotary disc valve as it sucks in the fuel mixture into the cylinder. But certainly a rare little machine to see racing on the track. So we're picking up our race leaders once again. It's Chris Winder who is your race leader. Second is Lee Holland. Looks like these two riders are lining up for some kind of skirmish towards the end of this race, but it's still Chris Winder, your race leader. Number 427 there, Lee Holland. And as I mentioned, Chris had a fantastic day on the Saturday on his 250 Honda Elsinore, and it looks like he's started where he left off from the Saturday by hitting the front of this 125 class race. As we take a look at number 29, that's Mark Beeston on that quite nice little 125 Kawasaki bike. Aaron Dent there, number 16, just making his way through. And it looks like the battle's hotting up at the front of the pack between Chris Winder and Lee Holland. There's not been much to separate these two riders from the start of this race, so it looks like it could be fireworks before the end of the race, but it's still Chris Winder, your race leader. Lee Holland in second position as they cross the finish line to start their last and final lap of this 125 class race. And you're looking at a couple of very talented riders on these little 125s. Chris Winder here on the CR 125 Honda, and Lee Holland on that lovely little YZ 125 Yamaha. So with a little more than half a lap to go, it's still that man Chris Winder, your race leader. Lee Holland is still in there with a fighting chance in the last half lap, but it doesn't look like Lee's going to get close enough to make that challenge before the checkered flag. But still very tight though. But Chris Winder has certainly got the advantage going into the last few turns, but Lee Holland is right on his rear wheel, but it looks like it's going to be Chris Winder with the win in this 125 race. So as they exit the last couple of turns, it's certainly a win for Chris Winder, and it's going to be Lee Holland who's going to take that second place position. As we take another look at that lovely little 125 Michael. As I mentioned, a very rare bike to even see, let alone watch one of these bikes actually racing on a track. Okay, that brings us quite nicely to the classic pre-1978 class for the riders up to age 38. And it looks like Liston Bell's made quite a good start. Christian Marshall is in there again. James Thompson looks like he's sitting in about third position at the moment, but it's Liston Bell who is your race leader. I think it's Christian Marshall in second position as they head into turn 3. So as we look to the top section of the track to pick up our race leaders, it's still Liston Bell, number 898, who's being chased by Christian Marshall. I think Christian's riding under number 581. James Thompson is in third position there on the Cecil Pearson Rickman Jap. But it's Liston Bell, your race leader, Christian Marshall in second. I think Christian's riding a quite nice looking Shenny BSA bike. But here's your race leader, number 98. Liston. Oh, dearie. Looks like Liston lost the front wheel there, so he's lost a few track positions, but managed to keep the bike going and get on his way once again. And so that means we have a new race leader. It's James Thompson from Northern Ireland, number 26 on the Rickman framed Jap machine. Christian Marshall still in second position. James, of course, had a fantastic day here on the Saturday and nearly had a clean sweep of wins, but he raced very well on Saturday, and he looks like he's off to a decent start here again on the Sunday. Christian Marshall there in second position. As we take a look at number 17, I think that's Liam Wilkes. I think Liam's riding an old CZ, an old Czechoslovakian CZ bike. But it appears there seems to be no stopping these Rickman Jap machines of Cecil Pearson's. They've had a fantastic weekend here at the Westmoreland County Showground, and James Thompson looks like he's on his way to possibly another win. And this bike of James's was just one of, I think it was 6 bikes that Cecil brought over from Northern Ireland, so there was quite a crowd gathered round them because they were such a unique collection of machines. So it's Christian Marshall there in second position, but it looks like Liston Bell has managed to get up and running again, and I think Liston's in about third position at the moment. Liston got off to a fantastic start in this race, of course, and unfortunately dropped his machine into that turn 3 corner. But it's still James Thompson, your race leader. Looks like James is still keeping that gap pretty consistent to Christian Marshall in second position. And I'm looking forward to making the trip over to Northern Ireland this year in August to see these bikes in action once again. So it'll be good to meet up with all the guys from Northern Ireland when I make the trip over there in August. So it's James Thompson, your race leader, as he comes round to cross the line to start his last and final lap. As we take a look at second placed rider Christian Marshall on that beautiful BSA. I think it's a Shenny BSA or something similar. I do apologise if that's not the case, but it's a very nice looking old Biza just the same. So it looks like it's going to be another win for James Thompson. I think James had about 3 race wins, or 2 or 3 race wins in the Saturday, so looks like James is going to notch up another winner's trophy in this race as he makes the last 2 or 3 turns. Christian Marshall is still in second place, so as he comes round to take the last turn before the checkered flag, it's going to be a win for James Thompson. Second place is this man here, Christian Marshall on the BSA, but a very good ride again by James Thompson. Liston Bell is going to come through to take the third place position. Okay, that brings us to the classic pre-1978 bikes for the riders aged 39 to 58. Now another good lineup of riders for this race. So as they leave the line, it looks like a good start by number 33. That's John Griffiths on that Rickman Jap machine. Second, it looks like it's Keith Best on the CZ. Ian Buchanan looks like he's in third, but as they come towards us, it is indeed John Griffiths, number 33. Second is Keith Best. Third is Ian Buchanan. Fourth is number 44, that's Adrian Lappin. And number 20 just making his way through there is Jude Crawshaw. So it still looks like it's John Griffiths, your race leader. Second now looks like it's Adrian Lappin. So that's the two Irish riders on the Cecil Pearson Japs in first and second place positions. And so as they come towards us, it's still John Griffiths, number 33, number 44, it's Adrian Lappin. Third is, looks like Wayne Partington, just making his way through there. And just coming towards us is number 71, that's Brian Atkinson. Now unfortunately that race had to be stopped due to an injured rider lying on the track, so this is the complete race restart. So as the riders leave the line once again, looks like another good start by number 33, John Griffiths and Adrian Lappin, as they head into turn 2. So once again, the two Cecil Pearson Rickman Jap bikes have made a fantastic start in this race, with John Griffiths, number 33, your race leader, with number 44, Adrian Lappin, in second position. So as they cross the finish line to begin lap 1, it's number 33, John Griffiths, your race leader. Now John Griffiths also rides a 1974 CCM bike, so he'll be well suited to the power from that Jap single 4-stroke machine. Adrian Lappin in second place, and it looks like Ian Buchanan has now moved up into third, as the rest of the pack make their way through. Number 20 again there is Jude Crawshaw. But it's still number 33, John Griffiths, your race leader. Second now is Ian Buchanan. Third is Adrian Lappin. And so it certainly looks like Ian Buchanan is on the move in second position. So we're trying to pick up our race leader once again. It's still John Griffiths, number 33. And you may notice a difference in the colour in this part of the video, but the ND filters on my camera were giving me a bit of trouble during the day, so I do hope that doesn't spoil your enjoyment of watching the racing. But it's still John Griffiths on the Cecil Pearson Rickman Jap, who is your race leader. I think second position is Ian Buchanan, who's looks like he's on the move and catching John Griffiths. Adrian Lappin is in third. Number 302 just going through there is Wayne Partington. Number 31 there is Stephen Hinchcliffe. So that's the smaller CR250 Honda 2-stroke Elsinore versus the big 500 TT 4-stroke Yamaha. And we're back with our race leader, number 33, John Griffiths. It doesn't look like there's any sign of Ian Buchanan. Ian was catching John Griffiths on that previous lap, but it looks like John's out there on his own on the Rickman Jap. Doesn't seem to be much sign of Ian Buchanan on the 2-stroke CZ bike. But these Rickman Japs have been certainly a formidable force at this 2-day event here at the Westmoreland County Showground. So that's John Griffiths in first position. Second, I think, will be Adrian Lappin. So I don't know what's happened to Ian Buchanan. Maybe had a mechanical failure, but there's certainly no sign of him in the first 2 or 3 placings. But it's John Griffiths here, your race leader. Now, John Griffiths, of course, is just one of the team of riders that Cecil Pearson has brought over from Northern Ireland. We have John Griffiths and James Thompson, Harry Stitt, and of course Adrian Lappin, all riding these fantastic Rickman Jap machines. So that's number 302 just going through there is Wayne Partington on that yellow Czechoslovakian CZ machine. And again, these CZs or CZs, as they're sometimes known in the USA, are very popular bikes for classic and vintage racing. And when you go to these kind of events, you're always guaranteed to see many of these CZ bikes in the paddock. Now, looks like somebody's got some troubles with their Rickman BSA machine, trying to get it fired up. And so as they all head towards the checkered flag, it looks like it's going to be a win for number 33, that's John Griffiths, but this is the battle for second position between number 44 Adrian Lappin on the Rickman Jap and Wayne Partington riding that CZ machine. But it looks like Adrian Lappin's going to manage to hold on to that second place position, and it's going to be a third place finish for Wayne Partington. Okay, that brings us to the classic pre-1978 class, and this is of course for riders 58 years of age and over. Another good lineup of riders, and there'll be a few veterans in this particular class. So as they leave the line and come into turn one, it looks like Peter Hollinshead's made a fantastic start there on his big SRM BSA twin. Trevor Calderwood's also made a good start, but as they make their way round and come into turn three, it looks like Trevor Calderwood from Northern Ireland is your early race leader. Peter Hollinshead is in second position, as the rest of the chasing pack appear to have made it safely through the first 2 or 3 turns. But as we look to the bottom section of the track, it is indeed number 32 Trevor Calderwood who is your race leader on the Czechoslovakian CZ machine. Trevor, of course, one of Ireland's top classic riders, and I think Trevor won the Don Matthews CZ championship back in, I think it was 2016 or 2018, and Trevor took the overall win on the day at that Don Matthews event in California. So here's your race leader once again, Trevor Calderwood, riding one of the many CZ machines that he has in his collection. Peter Hollinshead is still in second position. As we look at number 180 there, that's Archie Baird on that quite unique Nori Patty 3L CZ. Number 27 is Mike Doby, and of course number 53 there is the legend himself, Mr. Wolfsport, Bill Brown. So there is your race leader, number 32 Trevor Calderwood from Newton Ards in Northern Ireland. Trevor, of course, runs his own Chiltech refrigeration and air conditioning company in Northern Ireland, so it should be quite easy for Trevor to play it cool here at the Westmoreland County Showground. So it's Trevor Calderwood, your race leader. Second is Peter Hollinshead. Third is number 33, I think that's Peter Williamson in third position. But thus far this has been a very good ride here by Trevor Calderwood, number 32. Trevor's brother Les also is racing at this event, and Les will be riding an older CCM machine. And of course we still have more racing footage from the Sunday to come here on my Classic Dirt Bike TV channel, so make sure you continue to subscribe or hit that like button if you like what you see here on my channel. So as Trevor Calderwood crosses the line to begin his last and final lap of this race, we'll try and catch up with our second and third place position riders. Trevor's riding very well on that CZ at the moment, but in second place it should be Peter Hollinshead as he makes his way through. Peter's riding that lovely SRM BSA Twin. So as he heads towards the checkered flag, it's going to be a win for number 32, Trevor Calderwood. And it looks like we've got a change of second and third place rider. It looks like it's going to be Peter Williamson, I think, who's going to cross the line in second, with Peter Hollinshead in third. Okay, our next race is the Twin Shock 250 class. Another big lineup of riders for this particular class. And as you can see, the weather still absolutely perfect for this kind of vintage racing here at the Westmoreland County Showground. So it looks like everybody's good to go. We're just waiting on the 5 and 15 second board being raced, which is now being done. So it's 5 seconds to lift off. So as the riders make their way into turn 1, we'll try and pick up our race leader. And I think our early leader is, it looks like number 43, I think that's Ryan Ireland on the Honda 250 Red Rocket. So it's Ryan Ireland, your race leader. And I think in second position it looked like it was number 6, Warren Mather in second position, but as we take a look at our race leader, it is of course at number 43, Ryan Ireland. Made a good start in this 250 class race. Second is number 6, Warren Mather. As the rest of the chasing pack make their way through, number 21 going through there is James Neil Jones on that beautiful Kawasaki 125 that we filmed in the paddock. So it looks like it's still number 43, Ryan Ireland, your race leader, from number 6, Warren Mather. I think Jim Shand is in there in third position. As the rest of the chasing pack make their way through. That looks like Martin Reed just going through there, number 170 on the YZ 250 Yamaha, but the race leader is still Ryan Ireland as he completes lap 1. These Honda 250 Red Rockets came out, of course, in the late 70s and were an absolute revelation in motocross terms, and just about everybody on the planet wanted one of these Honda 250 Red Rockets. Now unfortunately again this race had to be stopped due to this injury to Martin Reed, so this race will be restarted, and during that time this will give us a bit of an opportunity to take a look at number 58, that's Mark Kears, trying to start his old Italian 250 Motovilla. Yet another one of those very rare Italian stallions. And that of course is the bike and not Mark. So here is a restart of the Twin Shock 250 class race. Martin, as far as I know, is recovering now from his injuries, but nonetheless we wish him all the best in his recovery. So as the race gets underway once again, it looks like another good start by Ryan Ireland. It looks like we've got another faller there into turn 1, but it looks like he's okay. But as the riders make their way round, it's number 6, Warren Mather, I think, who is your race leader at this point, as the rest of the chasing pack make their way through to begin lap 1. And it looks like Ryan Ireland is now taking command of this race at the front on the Honda 250 red rocket machine. Number 18 just going through there on the red bike is Andrew Cleaver. But as you can see, the dust beginning to blow around here at the Westmoreland County Showground, but hopefully it won't get too dusty for the riders. So here's your race leader, number 43, Ryan Ireland. It looks like it's number 6, Warren Mather, who is in second position. And Ryan Ireland, of course, riding that Honda 250 red rocket, and it was bikes like these red rockets that Japanese imported into Europe and signed the death warrant for many European motocross and motorcycle manufacturers, and everybody seemed to want more of these Japanese bikes, and sales of European motocrossers certainly took a downturn when the Japanese started flooding the market with these types of machines, because European manufacturers couldn't compete on quality, cost, and of course quantity. Number 77 there, that's Andrew Rudkin, just making his way through on his YZ 250 Yamaha, but it's still Ryan Ireland, your race leader at the front, number 43. But again, another decent crowd of spectators at this Westmoreland County Showground event on the Sunday, which is good to see considering the current COVID regulations, but it's nice to get back to some kind of normality once again, as we take a look at our second placed rider, number 6, Warren Mather, or Mather. I do apologise if my pronunciation is not as it should be, but it's number 6, Warren Mather, in second position. I think Warren's riding a Honda 250 as well. Now number treble 3 coming towards us there is another rider that's not listed in the race programme. Number 212 is Trevor Gu on his Honda Red Rocket. Number 206, just making his way through, is Chris Rogerson. But here's your race leader, Ryan Ireland, number 43. Ryan has more or less dominated this 250 race and took the early lead in the first part of the race, and as you can see, he's got a decent gap in this restart. So Ryan looking good for a win in this 250cc class race. As we take a look at number 227 in the white 250 Myco, that's Adrian Leach. But it's still Ryan Ireland as he heads towards the checkered flag, who is your race leader, and Ryan's got about half a lap to go, so this has been a quite dominant performance from Ryan as he takes a look to see where the second place man was. That was Warren Mather. So just 2 or 3 turns to go, and Ryan can chalk up his first win of the day. Second place is going to be Warren Mather. As we take a look at the helicopter that was to take the injured Martin Reed to hospital for treatment, so we wish Martin all the very best in his recovery. Okay, next up we move on to the CCM Twin Shock and the CCM Monoshock class races. So this is the CCM bikes, both ancient and modern. So you'll see a nice collection of modern CCMs and older CCMs in this race, and it looks like that could be Joel Hughes, who's made the early start on his CCM bike, number 137 I think it is. Looks like Dugald Cullen is in second position, with another quite packed field of riders for this CCM Twin Shock and Monoshock. But it's Joel Hughes, the man with the early lead. Now this is a later CCM bike, of course, not with the BSA engine in it, of course, but the Yamaha 4-stroke motor in the chassis. Now a few of the later CCM bikes were powered by Rotax engines, and a few were powered by these Yamaha 4-stroke motors. So it's number 581 who is in second place at the moment, and that of course is Christian Marshall, who did very well in the previous race on the BSA that he was riding, but he's doing very well in second position here on the old Twin Shock CCM bike. Now also in this class, the organisers were allowing Armstrongs and JBR Hondas to take part in these CCM races, so you may catch a glimpse of one or two of those bikes as they make their way round. But Joel Hughes is absolutely flying on that Yamaha powered CCM bike. Second place Christian Marshall. Number 3 is Dugald Cullen with the ears on the helmet. Number 29 just making his way through there. That was of course Kier Tet, who is also riding one of the more modern CCM machines. Now this particular bike of Joel Hughes could be one of the many CCM bikes that Rob Hughes had on display over the course of the weekend. It was one of the biggest collection of CCM bikes I've ever seen in one place, and I've already made arrangements to go and visit Rob's collection of CCM bikes, so look out for them all to be featured here on my Classic Dirt Bike TV channel sometime soon. So as Joel Hughes crosses the line to begin another racing lap, this bike again is quite a rare machine with I think it's a CCM built frame with the 4-stroke Yamaha YZF engine in the chassis. As we take a look at Dugald Cullen with the ears on the helmet and his CCM powered bike with the Rotax engine in the chassis. But it was great to see all those CCM bikes in the paddock on the Saturday and Sunday in the Rob Hughes collection, and every conceivable make and model of CCM bike was more or less included in that collection. But we're looking at Joel Hughes as he comes round to complete another lap. This has been an absolute stonking ride by Joel on this big CCM Yamaha bike. I remember seeing Joel racing at this event a couple of years back, riding a big 510 Husqvarna 4-stroke bike, and he was absolutely awesome on that machine. So as he crosses the line to start his last and final lap, he's looking very comfortable for a race win in this CCM Twin Shock and CCM Monoshock race. Now we're looking at Peter Hollinshead. Now that's quite a rare machine as well. That's a 1979 4-valve CCM, and that's one of the rarer CCMs with the 4-speed gearbox, and this bike is totally 100% original, apart for of course a pair of new tyres that Peter's put on the bike, but it's a totally original machine from back in the day. So we're back with our race leader as he heads towards the checkered flag. It's going to be a win for Joel Hughes on that very quick machine. This has been a good ride by Joel. Led early on in the race and it's never really been troubled the entire race since then, so as he comes to take the checkered flag, it's a win for Joel Hughes. Now looks like somebody's dropped their CCM bike. I think that's number 232, that's John Beattie. Okay, the final race in this part 4 video from the Westmoreland County Showground. This is a twin shock over 250s, and this is heat 1. Looks like somebody's... oh, looks like we've got a faller there into turn 1, but he's up again and back on the bike. But it looks like it's number 2 there, Bradley O'Leary, number 2 on the Michael machine, who is your race leader. But as the rest of the pack make their way through, it looks like everybody's safely round the first 2 or 3 turns. So as we pick up our race leader at the top of the hill, it is indeed number 2, Bradley O'Leary, who looks like he's riding a 490 Michael twin shocker. These Michaels, of course, very popular for twin shock and vintage racing these days. And of course the 1981 490 Mega 2 is still regarded as one of the best motocross machines ever made, and that's what makes them so popular as race bikes at these twin shock events. Now number 45 out again, that's Joel Hughes, who won that previous race, and looks like Joel's out this time riding a big 510 Husky 4-stroke machine. Number 93 is Nigel Sowerby. Number 94 is David Lamb, just making his way through there. So we're back with our race leaders. It looks like number 711 is your new race leader. That's Graham Riley, I think, on that 1980 Michael machine. But Graham and number 2, Bradley O'Leary, having a right old scrap on those German Michaels. But it looks like Bradley O'Leary has got that track position back once again, but Graham is still pounding away at Brad O'Leary, so this could be a good race between these two guys as the race progresses. So as they complete lap 1, it looks like it's Graham Riley who is your early race leader. Now that bike of Graham Riley there, number 711, is an identical machine to the bike that I used to race back in the day, but I certainly couldn't make my old 1980 440 go as quick as Graham's making that bike go. But it's Graham Riley in first position with Brad O'Leary in second place. But this is turning into quite a good scrap between Graham Riley and Brad O'Leary in second place, number 2 on the big Michael. But that Graham Riley bike, the 1980 Michael, wasn't the greatest of handling machines as I remember, but the 490 of 1981 was, of course, when Michael got their sums absolutely spot on and built one of the best motocross bikes ever made. But this is a good ride here by Graham Riley in first position. Brad O'Leary is in second, but looks like Graham Riley is now pulling away from Brad O'Leary as he crosses the line to begin another racing lap. But Graham Riley's certainly got this Michael hooked up into this Westmoreland County Showground racetrack. He's looking very quick on that Michael machine. Second place is still Brad O'Leary there, number 2 on that beautifully turned out 490 Michael. There is Joel Hughes just making his way through on the big 4-banger Husqvarna. Although I do hope you've enjoyed the racing footage from the first part of the Sunday's race programme. Of course, subscribe to my channel to see more of the racing from this event on the Sunday as we take a look at the race leader, Graham Riley, on that 1980 Myco. And this will probably be a 440 or a 400 machine, but Graham looking superb on that German-made machine. Oh, wait a minute here, I think we've got a problem with Graham's bike. It looks like the chain has come off Graham's bike, and he was doing so well on that machine, so that will bring Graham's race to a final conclusion. But once again, thanks for watching all the racing action from the Sunday's race programme, and don't forget to retune to see more of the same on Classic Dirt Bike TV.